And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another interview. I like to do a lot of these with people that I know, like, and respect about different products that are coming out. And we've got Bill Guthrie. Give a little wave, Bill.
Hey!
And we have Will. Help me out with the
It,
pronunciation of your last name.
it's like hey to a guy named Merle. Hey Merle.
Hey, Merle. Okay.
You got
All
it.
right.
Perfect.
Awesome. Awesome. So that's what we've got. As far as this interview goes, got a lot of really cool stuff that we're going to be talking about. We're going to lead with Will because Bill's a little busy right now. Will and Bill. That's just pretty much
It's a match
right.
made in heaven, huh?
Right. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this. For those of you who've seen most of my interviews, it's pretty straightforward. Just want to get more understanding of the new product that's coming out. So first of all, I want to know, Will, when is this coming out? Because I know it's coming out next week, right?
Yeah, Bill, help me out there.
Yeah, let me talk for a little bit, and then let's
Okay.
flip it around. I'm going to talk, and then I got to do something on my computer that's related to this discussion, so
Right.
I'm not ignoring you guys.
Mhm.
And then we'll let Will kind of take over and do the.
Sounds
We are
good.
launching Tuesday, February 18th at 11 a.m. Eastern time.
Right.
So I'm on Central Time, so I'm always converting to my own, but that's 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday the 18th.
Awesome.
Right. I did know that. I just wanted to make sure.
I just wake him up like 5 minutes before I turn the buttons on.
Hey, you got to go on. It's your thing.
Man,
No, so go ahead, Bill.
yeah, I was just gonna say, Zane, thanks for having us. I mean, this is kind of fun, and I love I love being. There's a certain irony that we're discussing a Facebook deal over on Google Hangouts, and I think just extemporaneously thinking Facebook's missing a really awesome ability here. They want to keep us trapped inside of their platform, yet and they are thinking of themselves in various ways. I wish they would truly think about themselves as a communication platform as opposed to a news feed like Twitter or something like this. And I think they're missing the opportunity to keep us really more and more connected. And I love that. I think these Hangouts are really, really awesome and fun. So thanks for having us.
Sure. No, it's great to have you guys here. I just wanted to say really quick about that. These interviews are meant to show how cool with everything Google is, right? Yeah, we can do interviews about all sorts of stuff. We don't mind. Go ahead and use the tool, right?
Absolutely.
So it's great to have you here, and you guys, Bill. I always know you as a good quality guy who brings good quality products to the marketplace. So, actually, I'm a little curious. Will, why don't you tell us a little bit about how the two of you got together on
Actually,
this product?
yeah, sure. Bill and I think we've known each other we've known who each other was for a couple of years now, and Bill did quite a bit in Facebook and doing pages and showing people how to do it, and I do a ton of paid traffic. So I think we hooked up basically on Facebook, and Bill was doing a lot of fan pages, and I was doing a lot of fan pages, and then we were doing training for people on how to create the fan pages and populate them with campaigns to get likes and get people on there and engaged. And I think just one day we were chatting, kind of out of the blue. I think we just messaged each other, and we just said we just started talking about there's got to be kind of a better way to do this, and I said, yeah, there is. I think there is, and so that's kind of how the product was born. We just decided that instead of building a fan page and putting a lot of money up front and hoping that we would be able to make some money off it, we decided, what I was doing is making money right away and then building the fan page if I made money. So
Okay.
I just switched it up a little bit from what everybody else was doing, and it's working very, very well.
Yeah, Zane. Last year I really dedicated myself to Facebook. It's a direction that I think people are going. They want to learn about it, and so I started to really educate myself, and then in turn pour that information out into the marketplace. And what I got really, really good at was identifying hot ideas, building pages about it, pouring in content, and then pulling in thousands and thousands of fans for really cheap, right? I got it down to a science. And so I had students that were just killing it as it related to these ideas. Where I was missing the boat was in successfully being able to monetize those things. I mean, aggressive monetization of them. And I reached out to Will because I knew him as a moneymaker. So I knew Will as really one of the best guys that that I knew of in the CPA market. And that was our first kind of, when I reached out and said, hey man, you're killing it in CPA over here, and I know that you buy a lot of traffic, and I know that you're doing all these things. What are you doing inside of Facebook? And this was 8 months ago, and he was like, I'm not really that, And then he got back to me a few months later. I was like, well, okay, that was a nice discussion. He got back to me a few months later, and he's like, hey, dude, I got to tell you, that conversation that we had really sparked something, and I started doing stuff, and I am killing it inside of Facebook now.
Wow.
And it was really awesome. So I was like, okay, all right, look, we got something. Let's figure this out. And so, because for me, the value in me understanding it and being able to teach it is to boil something down to a recipe, right? So the greatest meals on the planet that are fixed by the most renowned chefs of the world, they have a recipe, right? They're not just concocting shit out of thin air, man. They, you know what I mean? They know this much, and I do it in this way, and I have to take these steps, and that is what's critical to me. And that's what Will and I have been working on, is how do we systematize an idea? How do we take what he has intuitively got into his brain, that all of his experience is feeding into, so he just knows how to do stuff. How do we take that and put it into that kind of repeatable recipe, for students? And that's what we're going to be doing on Tuesday, and that's why I'm so excited.
That's awesome. No, and actually, I've been very much the same way. I never really look at it in recipe form. It's very much the same of just intuition. So having somebody else go, wait, that's really good. We should make something that's easier to follow than just trust your gut, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's great. So that's basically how you guys came together and met, and then and now that's more about basically like what this product is about. And I don't know. It sounds like you've got a really strong motivation for getting this out there. You guys are very passionate about it.
Well, again, I think that so often in online marketing, people they're kind of trying to buy this box, and whatever's inside of it will hopefully, be the answer to their prayers. Those boxes don't exist. When you open those boxes, they're filled with, packing popcorn.
And a wonk wonk.
Right. Whereas, things like Facebook, it evolves. Mm-hmm. Facebook itself, forget what we're trying to do. Facebook itself, it basically iterates itself every 3 months. That's why the newsfeed changes. That's why their advertising changes. That's why it looks different. That's everything. And so it's a challenge for people who really want to be involved with it, right? It's not something where you just go, well, I'll just buy this book and that'll be it until I quit. No. I mean, it is an evolution of education and tactics. And so what's so exciting to me right now in working with Will is that he's been able to bring a really fresh perspective into my mind, and he's got all these other outside experiences. Like his knowledge in the CPA market, it matters with what we're doing here and what we're teaching. Even though we're not teaching CPA marketing, right? But his experiences help to inform how you get people to take action, how you get them engaged, because CPA guys, they're ninjas, man, you know what I mean? So he's got all that knowledge, he's pouring it into this, which is making it so exciting for us, right? So he's bringing a whole fresh perspective to this that I couldn't have done by myself.
All right, interesting. So, okay, all right. So then let's let's kind of put Will on the spot for a minute
Yeah,
then.
sure.
Is there just like one tip that you can give that will help our viewers right now that are watching live? Just something like if you're first starting out, what would you recommend to do first?
As far as Facebook goes,
Yeah.
okay. The one thing that I've seen, the one tip, well, I can give, it's kind of two, but people always quit about 2 feet from the finish line with any campaign they do on Facebook.
Right.
Always, always, always. I've seen it a million times. They launch one campaign, they set a budget of $10 or $20, and then they make a post saying, hey, I got 5 clicks. This hasn't converted. What's going on? This doesn't work. Facebook sucks. I'm never doing it again. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You have to, like, give it a real college try. Like, you can't just do that. You have to actually
Right.
put a little bit of budget in it, give it some time, and I think time is one thing that nobody online wants to ever consider. They want things yesterday.
Yep.
So if they put up a campaign, they better refresh their screen and see 10,000 clicks and $5,000 in their bank account, or they're going to lose interest.
If not,
So
it's a scam, right?
yeah, it's a scam. This doesn't work. You guys don't know what you're doing. Nothing works. I don't know. I don't get it. It's just I've been doing online marketing since 2004, and I've seen this a million times. And even I did it when I started, launch a campaign and then just quit. And if I went back through my campaigns now, which I actually have, and I actually gave them a real try with a real budget and real time frames, I think I could make any of them work. So even now, when I do what we're doing now on Facebook, 27% of my campaigns work. So if I just launch one, I'm rolling the dice there. I'm just basically getting lucky if it worked. So
Right.
I know that I have to launch at least 10 to get 3 successful ones. So that's the one tip I would give. Don't quit. Don't quit so close to the finish line, and actually give it some time to percolate and grow and work.
Absolutely.
And let me feed on that. The what's been really interesting for me in watching people move into Facebook and having and basically saying to them, look, you're going to have to spend some money. You have to spend some money. Like that's what Facebook wants you to do. So if you're going to play in their playground, you got to do it, right? You don't spend a lot of money. It's really small amounts relative to the internet at large. The idea of being able to test traffic for $25 is crazy cheap. Like, and if you don't have any outside experience, then you think, oh, 20, that's a lot of money. That is nothing compared to what other people test out in the real world of media buys and PPV and all this other kind of stuff, where you got to drop down 500, 1,000 just to even get your stuff seen. So to be able to come back and so what's been really awesome to me is that people are loosening up to this idea, and there are people who missed the AdWords wave, so they weren't around for Google Cash, right? And and the idea of media buying is terrifying for them. In Facebook, to their benefit, to their genius, they've made it so simple, right? Here, put a picture in there, write a headline, give us a little bit of money. Who do you want to see? Like they've made the whole process so simple. They've demystified it. They've taken all the fear out of it. So people who never would have ever bought traffic before are doing it here in Facebook, and that to me is incredibly exciting because guess what? That's why my students, they were flipping out with joy because they, for the first time ever, they were experiencing some success. They were seeing results. SEO was never going to work for them. Like all these things never worked. They were suddenly able to go, hold on, you mean if I just put a little bit of money in, do what you say, I'm going to see results? And there's that gratification. People are like, oh my gosh, I have 500 new fans today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's right. It's wildly exciting for people, and so that was a great sound effect, by the way. You know what I mean?
It felt right. It felt right. Yeah.
And whether they know it or not, they're becoming more sophisticated as marketers than 95% of the other people out there that are still looking for that stupid box, right? The fact that they're taking that action, the fact that they're learning how to test, and that's the biggest thing I think that Will's bringing to us, is his experience in testing. you know, of like being able to say, we're going to put multiple things out there, and then we're going to be able to see what's working, what isn't, what's making that work, how do we duplicate it. Sounds complex, but I mean, it's what's making him money. You know, it's what's making a lot of money. So those are efforts that I think are worth, you know, kind of going through and learning.
Oh, for sure, for sure. In fact, actually, your point actually leads me to my next question, which is this course, is it going to be easy to understand? I mean, like, I don't want to bring back that box analogy, but when you get the box and you open it up, I mean, can you open it up and go, oh, okay, I'm getting this?
Well, here's what we're doing, and this is, and you know, Will had, and this was a lot of what we discussed early on. Will's very comfortable doing video, right? So he'd actually prefer, I think, to probably just do videos. And my experience is that people want a PDF. They really do.
They do. They like it, yeah.
There's a perception of, oh, if it's got videos, it's more amazing and all this kind of stuff. And I don't disagree. There's tremendous value and the ability to learn via watching someone do something that's as close to you doing it yourself. So I think there's great value to it. But no, it's going to be incredibly simple, because what we're doing and what I'm forcing Will to do and what I'm forcing myself to do is to basically walk through this report as if I don't know anything, right? So, and basically say, step 1, step 2, you know, and have it really be this really clean process, and have that recipe be, you know, very available. And the nice thing, again, is that, and Will, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, this isn't hard stuff.
No.
It's just the order in which you do it, understanding why you are doing it, and also knowing what's going to come next. So I'm doing this, here's why I'm doing it, here's what I need to be expecting, so that I have something to balance again, you know what I'm saying? So that I can see the whole, you know, the linear progression of what we're up to. You know, and that to me, that's why the report is so great. Because I'll tell you what, people, here's what they'll do. They'll buy the report, they go, wow, and they'll just skim the hell out of it. They'll look at the pictures or whatever. And then they'll go, okay, all right, now let's go back and read it, right? And then suddenly they get in, and that's why I personally prefer ebooks, because I can do it that way. I can kind of get a quick glance, figure out whether or not these guys are full of shit. Okay, now let's go back in. Now let's start to go step by step, and and go through it, it'll be really, really simple for people who've never done this before, or even people who've done it, and it's going to work for either case.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, I've done a lot of training over the years, and one of the biggest issues people have is if you assume they know something and they don't know it, then they're going to get lost. So as long as you go in with that mindset that I'm going to assume you don't know anything, and then you give them every single step, so then if they did know something, no big deal. They can skim over that part.
There's having done so much, launched so many products, people often, or I say often, but it will come up, and people go, I already knew that. Well, and it got me thinking. I was like, it's interesting how we don't have only one university in the world. That we have thousands of universities, and we don't just have one Civil War professor who's the only person teaching. We have thousands of people that are teaching the American Civil War. Now, why is that? I mean, for one thing, there's proximities and all this the logistical issue of it, but people teach differently. Even within one university, there could be 4 or 5 people within the history department that are teaching various things. And I think that it is good when you are reading something and there is some familiar components to it.
Right.
If you are familiar with something, then all you got to do is say, well, did I take that action or not? Am I just sitting here to entertain myself, or am I here to take action? Because if this guy says it and this guy says it and I'm not doing it, or I'm not achieving the results that these two guys, like product A and product B, that they're not, if they're both saying it, I sure as hell better be doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think it's important for common language. We have to agree on our terms. We have to agree on a nomenclature to be able to, to achieve a common goal. Would you like to use the word nomenclature there?
I love it. Now, speaking of universities and education and higher learning, of course.
Oh, I haven't
You,
had a lot of sleep, man. I'm getting ready for this launch. I'm so excited, and I've on about 7 cups of coffee.
yeah. Hey, no, I no, I totally understand. I've re-released. I mean, like you're talking about earlier, how Facebook evolves. My products have experienced the same thing. They just need to keep evolving and growing and moving forward. And I'm a fan of the videos myself more so than anything.
Hmm.
But every single time in the past, it's always been, hey, could you give us some PDFs as well? So now when I make the videos, I write basically as a script slash ebook. And I go, all right, well, if you want to know the same exact things I'm already saying in the video, but you want to read it, here you go, no problem. And then it makes it makes it easier for me to zero in and focus on the content. So I'm only giving like the very best, and I'm not wasting people's time. So I like. Even though it takes a little bit more work, I do like writing it and then also doing the video just because it's just more free form for me. But I also understand that mode that you're in right now today, which is just like, all right, it's the wheels are moving and this thing's gonna happen, and like let's keep bringing the coffee, right? So,
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that when you write stuff, I mean, I'm a writer, right? I mean, that's I feel like I have the greatest job on the planet because from the time I was a little kid, I said I want to be a writer. I never knew that what I thought I was gonna be writing like mystery novels. I had no idea that what I was gonna end up doing was being kind of a technical writer.
yeah, expository writing.
You're right,
Right?
but because of that, I like to approach it from the writing perspective because Will's learning about Hangouts down there. Because for me, I think like uh, in video, as awesome as it is, like I don't know if you want to listen to me talk like this for 3 hours, like
Right?
just
Yeah.
wildly, like go, let me show you this and everything, like. Whereas when you write and when you've got something like in a written form, you can go back and say, did I miss something? Whereas it's hard to do that in a video. You can be like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
just going to slide right over that thing. That's
Yeah.
why, ultimately, we'll end up offering, I think, both. So, for the people who want to read and for the people who really
Yeah.
do enjoy the videos.
I think the videos are really good when you want to see an over the shoulder and you
Right.
want to watch them do it. And the way we can do it now, we can share the screen and literally like I'm clicking here, I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this, and I can go through, and I've probably done like hundreds of hours of videos that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And and with this too, we're probably going to offer that as well, right? Where, okay, now here's the guide, read it, and now, oh, do you want to see this too? Okay, watch this. Here you go.
Right.
We'll
Yep.
show you exactly how to do it. So there's
Very cool.
everybody learns differently, I think. So
Yeah.
there's
No.
no right and wrong way.
All right. Well, then I've only got a couple more questions for you guys. So the next one is, and we've touched on this a little bit more, but I guess more specific to the course. How long would you guys say that? I mean, if you actually grabbed the content, right, and you actually went through it and you started taking action, in order to stay motivated, how long would you say it would typically take to start seeing results, positive results? These the results that you guys were talking about earlier.
Well, I can answer that immediate. That's the goal here. It's not to launch something and wait a while and then see what happens. It's the whole goal is to get immediate results with
Right.
with the page, and well, to figure out which page you actually want to pursue too. So there's no point in building a page if you're not going to make any money off it. So, and Bill and I were talking about this earlier too. The people that we get that actually, when I create a page, and the people that like it, those are buyers. Those aren't the random people from click farms in India who are clicking the like button. These are real people, like U.S. citizens, Canadian citizens, U.K. citizens, who actually bought something already related to what you like, or they're going to buy something. So it's just it's far more valuable to build it this way than to go with the like campaign, because on Facebook, people love to click that like button and then they forget, or they never engage, or they never do anything with it. So this way, the whole point is to get immediate results, make money, know you're making money under that topic or niche or whatever you want to call it, and then to build it out long term. So we're getting immediate gains, and then we're adding in the long-term aspect as well.
Yeah, and I mean, if I was trying to be specific, and like while he's answering this, I was literally thinking about time. Like this, I'm saying how long would it take to read the report? How long? and I think, I think that if you took your time with the report, and by that I mean read it twice in an hour, right? And then started to take action from there, I think you could start to see stuff within 6 hours. Mm-hmm. Because, now granted, some of that is going to be contingent upon Facebook's ability to approve your ad, right? So, like
skill level of exception.
So, I mean, but I think that you could, from saying, okay, this is how I do it, to doing it, to have something live and able to receive 6 hours.
I agree.
Excellent. All right. Excellent. All right. So actually, before I move on to the next one, getting down into the brass tacks. Actually, there's a question here from the live audience, and so the question is from Michael, and he asks, so is this going to show how to turn likes into capturing email addresses? I mean, does it have that kind of potential, or is it go in a different direction?
Well, I think turning likes into email addresses is just a matter of having that. Well, there's lots of ways we can do it. We can do it with the tab on the page where we're giving away something in exchange for it. The standard list building that we can do. These are all things that can be done later. But I get that question too a lot about building the list and getting people on an email. Your page is your list. That's what people don't get. They think, well, it's a waste of time. If I post something, it only goes out to 18% of the people on there. Big deal. What's your open rate for an email?
Right. I was just going to say the same thing.
Like, give me a break here. The page is your list. So yeah, if you want to take that another step and actually physically get them on an email list, great. You can do that, but that's your list. So it's up to you. I mean, whatever people want to do. List building it's confusing, but I think you could actually call this list building with Facebook.
Okay.
That's not the name of the product, by the way.
No, sorry. Yeah.
And I would say that the thing about email, because I've experimented with it, and here was the thing for me when it came to putting people on an email list, and this is just my laziness. I mean, part of the reason why I like doing Facebook marketing is because it doesn't, it's not that hard. I don't have to put a lot of effort into it, right? I can kind of figure out something, put it into play. And I'm also able to communicate and build these pages in things that I know nothing about. But man, once I get someone on an email list, I have to kind of talk to them like they know, like I know something. And so I'm kind of like Will, like I don't really, look, if you know your topic and you want to build a list, building a list on Facebook to a targeted, page is not hard to do. It's really not hard to do. And if you're waiting for someone to come out with some amazing product that says, put your opt-in here, well, just do that, man. Don't wait for someone to tell you how to do it. Just do it. And if you want to communicate with them, via email, all the better, man. It's great targeted stuff. You don't have to pay for your, for more engagement. It's got all these benefits. But for a lot of the stuff that I'm involved in and the pages that I'm doing, what the hell am I going to do with them via email? I could run them on a quick little autoresponder, but that's just work for me. So I'd rather just load up my content and just entertain them, and engage them on the page.
Right. No, that's actually a really good point. That's what happened to me. I initially started doing these interviews a couple of years ago, and everyone asked me, like, where's your list? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, they always seem to come to the video first, and then they buy, and I just don't want to put the effort into writing the email. Like, I always get people who are like, what about the list? I'm like, I don't use it. I don't use it like most marketers use it. And like anywhere that you feel comfortable speaking as an authority, that's where you should do it, and where you have the most reach and profound effect. So you can do email, and it has been proven to help conversions. And if you want to put that extra effort into it, by all means, go for it.